perfect 24-inch pipe, you're still going to need pumps because it doesn't satisfy all needs. It's a good little pipe. It worked, even though in a damaged form during Hurricane Irene. Some people, a very small amount of damage occurred in our end of town from Hurricane Irene, but there was some damage. But that little damaged 24-inch pipe, maybe the slide rules don't work for some engineers, but it did function better than anybody could have hoped. Mike will verify that. Brandon will verify that. It's an undersized pipe, but it's stuck with two 36-inch pipes that come into the lake, which are the Polypond Brook. Mike also says they don't contribute any water to the lake. We verified that yesterday. You get all of the runoff from Wall Township and other towns. You also get, from what another person tells me, is when Route 71 was modified to have storm drains on it, storm drains come into Polypond and come into the lake. So you get all of that runoff. Anybody who knows the intersection of 18th Avenue and 71 knows that it's a lot better than it used to be. It used to be, that used to be a small pond all by itself. So I wish somebody filled up the pothole that's there now. Like a bus in it. Sorry, the upjudge. I don't know who to address about that. Maybe go to the Wall Township meetings and talk to their people. But
We'll get you a time and date for those.
thank you very much. Dan, thank you for your time. Please give us a, I'm not asking you to spend money unnecessarily, but just saying there's an improper an allocation that is questionable with regard to how the money is distributed. We need some help down there. Okay? Thank you for your time.
USA was down 1-0 when I came in here. I don't know why. It's all it's done. So there's the update. I'd like to thank Peter Pyro for all the work and help he's done with following up on these lake matters, because a lot of progress has been done over the last year. And I thank him and everyone else who's been involved in making that progress. There's more to this story, though, and Councilman, to follow up on your question, I'd like to get into some of that. We definitely need to recognize there's longer-term problems with the lake at hand here that need to be acknowledged. The first and most important, the pitch and elevation of the existing pipe is inadequate for going forward into the future. It will not continue to drain. It only drains during low tide right now. So as the rising mean high tide goes up, which is projected to be 18 inches over the next 50 years, that pipe will be rendered useless. So you're left with only two choices. One is to put a new, bigger, higher pipe that has the right elevation, or create a pump house that would assist in forcing that water out either through that pipe or through the other pipes that are being built. So that's the bigger concern here. I mean, everything we're doing right now is just for short-term storm coming, hurry up, get a pump in here, get a generator in here, hook it up. That's great, because it's better than not doing that. But that can't be the long-term solution that we have for our town. There's got to be a gravity-fed solution that drains naturally, that allows us to control the water flow out of that lake at our discretion. And there hasn't been any discussion about that right now.
Can I ask a question? Sure. When you say you don't need drains at low tide, I mean, no matter how high that lake is?
Yes. Well, no, the pipe is pitched such that only during low tide does it flow properly. It doesn't flow out during high tide. So if the lake were up over the drain right now, it would only drain out during low tide, but during high tide, the systolic pressure coming back in would not allow any outflow at all. So this is and this is confirmed by Smurfs. So I think, and it's important that all the council members understand the long game, the long-term impact of that, because the pipe will fail eventually over time. And while it may be longer than any of your terms here, on the council, it's our houses, our children, our grandchildren may not be able to live in that end of town unless something's done with this pipe for the long haul. And that could be inclusive of having to do a bigger pipe all the way out into the ocean. Mr. Parrott, do you know how far that outfall pipe goes into the Atlantic?
The new one?
No, the existing one.
It's a combination of new and old, that's why I call
Right,
it.
but the eastern end of that pipe, out past the jetty,
Not far at all.
it, 60 feet from, so it doesn't even go past the end of the jetty?
No, the submersive sewage pipes go like 600 feet down.
Okay, so the idea would be, as long as that pipe keeps draining during low tide, if a new pipe were put next to it of higher elevation and greater pitch, then when that pipe gets rendered useless over time, or the outflow of that pipe can't keep up, the secondary pipe would kick in and actually start draining. And then over time, as the first pipe becomes more and more useless, the second pipe would become more and more useful. Okay? So that's one idea. And then the other idea is put in a pump house that could allow us to control that lake without having to get pumps here and on call and standby. Have a permanent facility where a pump house is there that we would have to work. And that might be the longer term or the better or the easier thing to implement if using these 4 goosenecks become a viable alternative. Then creating a pump house might be a better option than trying to extend. But that means that the end of the goosenecks can't be buried underneath the sand and capped off, as Colleen had indicated. So there's some issues going on, no matter what choice. And really what the recommendation is can we get an engineering firm to take a look at the longer term impact and make some recommendations? Because SMERSA has done the study, and SMERSA has confirmed that this pipe is not going to be of any use in the near future. Near future meaning over the next, every 10 years it's going to become less and less useful to in 50 years from now, it won't be useful at all because they're projecting 18 inches rise in the next 15 years of the mean high tide. So I don't want to take up too much time, but I just do want to make sure everyone understands the lake receives significant runoff, as Councilman McGovern indicated, from Spring Lake Heights, Lake Como, Wall, and many other towns. As these towns, along with Belmar, continue to progress with development, significant additional stormwater runoff is going to be expected as we allow more and more impervious, as more and more towns allow more and more construction. It's going to get worse. It doesn't appear the lake has the capacity. So what do we need? We need a solution that takes into account the extent of this problem. By the way, the SMERSA facility, I don't think they're off the hook because their facility, if you look at the map, is threatened by lake overflow. And if the lake overflows into there, we have an environmental problem on our hands. Vice versa, when their intake overflows, it comes back into the lake. Now, after Sandy, no one was looking into the environmental impacts, but you could rest assured that there was some sewage in that water. Just in conclusion, and by the way, in addition, the dredging has to also be looked at because how much do you dredge? What's the appropriate amount? When you take it out, where does it go to? It's kind of like, it's questionable how much additional capacity you could take out by taking out more sand because you do hit the water table and it doesn't necessarily add any more value. Whether the lake is 3 feet or 6 feet deep, it drains off the top. It's not draining from the bottom. So any additional water that goes down below is probably just going to hit the water table and become a bigger bathtub. But the deeper the bathtub goes, the drain still drains at a high level. So it's questionable depending on our ability to manage the level of weight. And so, I guess what the recommendation or what I think we're asking for here is that an engineering, a formal engineering look be done about this for not only the short-term impacts, where it seems like much of that is under control, but the longer-term impacts on what has to get done. Because I don't think we should walk out of here saying, I've heard many people say the lake is fixed. What are you guys asking for? Like it's done, everything's handled. No, I'm saying, I didn't say you. I said many people are under the impression that the steps taken to date have solved the problem. And I want to make sure that everybody here understands that that is completely false and that the existing pipe is a problem. And until that existing pipe, an alternative to that existing pipe gets engineered, this problem will not go away. But we do have a much better handle this year than we did a year ago, given all the agreements and pumps and the help that Spring Lake has given us. Okay? Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I'm Bruce Esler, 1901 B Street. again, I'd like to thank Peter for all of his efforts. Really, he's been at Spring Lake and talking to all the people responsible every week. And I certainly don't have that kind of patience. It's done a lot of good. When we moved in 1998, the weirs weren't working. So that gives you some kind of a feeling about it. I also would like to point out that the only time that our house has ever had water in front of it was when the Allaire Dam failed in the early 2000s. That got into our cellar, we had 8 inches. I can tell you like a pal that this time we got the storm surge, and that seemed to go into Lake Como and wash back in. And I had green water coming in the back windows of the house while I was downstairs trying to get the pump working. So what everyone is saying about having to have a long-term solution, I'd like people to really try to stay on top of that. But I'd like to divide the work into a little even shorter term than what we're doing now. I'd like to try to work on getting the trash and 3 sand dunes that are in the lake now taken care of. So we have an ecological engine in that lake that allows the water to stay clean and flow through. There are trash cans in there. There are the old trash cans that were there. There are chairs. Somebody said they saw a washing machine. You know, that wasn't there to start out with. It shouldn't be a tough thing to get it out. I'd like to also make sure that we put a priority on the backflow valve, because that backflow valve is going to keep us draining the lake and not have it fill up from the ocean. I'm not sure, I'm going to be the only one that will object, I guess. I'm not sure how wise it would be for us to take ownership of the dam. The state has determined that Spring Lake owns it because they built it. I worry about the legal ramifications of our taking ownership of something that we actually don't own, if you can follow what I'm saying.
Sure.
That might be more trouble than it was, than it's worth. And other than that, I can see that the lake has dropped. I went down and I looked at the backflow, at the outfall pipe. It is. It's only about 60, maybe 80 feet out, and it's floating. Now, I was concerned about that because that's going to work hard after a while, and we'll only have a 20-foot pipe. But I understand that that's supposed to be anchored
It will be
when they finally put the final piece in. But I really want to throw my support behind Mark to get a longer-term solution, to keep working on it, treat it as if it's real. Because the only time we've ever had any water in that place at all, in our house, was at 30 inches worth, was when that went with during Sandy. And the lake was a total failure at that point. And right now, it's just full of sand and debris.
Thank you. Yes, Rocky.
May I offer to meet with him tomorrow and he can show me where the chairs and washing machine are? We've been in there with our boats and we've cleaned up everything we've seen. I don't see them, so he can
Why don't
show
you
me.
go stand at the end of B Street, look slightly to your left, and you'll see a trash can. Look over this way more, and you'll see a chair.
They're there.
I'm not saying they're there, but are they in Belmar? They're down past B
Yes.
Street and they're.
Yes,
Yes.
you stand, you know where I am, you stand, look straight up, you can see it.
All right, well, you know what, the lake is pretty low.
Yeah.
So we'll have our DPW go tomorrow, and if they see them, they'll pick them up.
Well, I don't know whether it's gonna be real easy. It's probably buried in the sand.
He said he'd come, he said he'd come.
We'll get it out.
You pointed out in the park, he said he'd come tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll come tomorrow. And in general, if you see other things floating in there, don't wait to a council meeting. Email me and I'll, right? I mean, if you see a pothole, email me, I email them, and it gets fixed. So don't feel like you gotta wait till 7 o'clock on July 1st to tell us these things. Tell us as they come forward. If you don't tell us, we don't know. All right, that'll close our workshop for tonight, unless anyone else has any other workshop issues.
Thank you. Thank you for addressing.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pyro. By the way, while Mark was up speaking, America lost. 2-1.
I had nothing to do with it.
Blame Mark Fitzgerald.
Bruce was taking the game.
Somebody was taking
Match. Yeah, I know. You're ruining it.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry, Bruce. Just kidding. No, I didn't.
Blame Mark Fitzgerald.
I was watching it.
All right, we're gonna continue on. So if anyone wants to head out, Have a good time. Thank you, Paul. All right, we'll continue on with our agenda. Next item, petitions. Any petitions for the mayor and council? I don't see any. So let's have our reports of the council. Council President McGovern.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thanks to a almost perfect June, our beach receipts to date is $1,520,000, $520,371. Well, we have a lot of money. We are 50% to last year's total. And at this meeting, I will go practice how to say that $1,520,000. Okay. Easy for me to say, huh? Last couple of meetings, I forgot to mention some of the people in town that I would like to point out. One of our high school players, Marina Mabry, was selected Player of the Year in the short conference. She made first team All-State, and she has committed to Notre Dame for next year. And Marina's only going to be a senior in high school at Manasquan next year. I'd like to shout out to Colin McDermott. Colin's going to be a freshman in college, except he's going to West Point. He's leaving shortly. So I don't think the rest of his July is going to be much fun for Colin McDermott. It's not going to be like he was playing wiffle ball on 7th Avenue Beach or boogie boarding in the water. He's going to go through some rough time, but good luck to Colin the next couple of years. Also a shout out to the grandson of Tom and Rosemary Volker. Your grandson was selected Offensive Football Player of Monmouth and Ocean County, or was that in the state of New Jersey? Okay. His grandson goes to Rumson Fairhaven High School. This is going to, you're going to like this one. I got an email today about Bill Blanchfield from Maplewood Road. On Friday, he played the Bayonne Golf Club, which means he has now played at every golf course in the state of New Jersey, all 243 golf clubs. He did it last Friday. He's played them all, even Pine Valley, Ridgewood, all of them. So congratulations to Bill Blanchfield. I think maybe the next meeting we should give him a resolution. That's a lot of golf. Tomorrow morning at the Rain Garden in Belmar, North Lake Drive, a couple people are meeting me to help try and clean that up. Some of the neighbors are complaining about the unsightliness of it. So we're going to try and help them out a little bit by cleaning it up, plant some plants that would grow. Mike, could you send Kevin over with a chainsaw? We want to take that dead tree out of there, okay? About 9 o'clock? I appreciate that. Fortunately, the A Street line to Shark River seems to be complete. P&A construction cleaned up today. I don't see any more trucks around, so watching them for a great company. I mean, those guys worked so hard, did a great job. It was good to see. So that's basically my report. So anybody interested, 9 o'clock tomorrow, Rain Garden, North Lake Drive. Thank you.
Councilwoman Keel Blackburn.
The Belmar Women's Club had their flower show and luncheon. They had over 100 people attend, and it was very, very successful. They earned lots of money, and that means more money to come back to Belmar. And then during the seafood festival, they worked at the hospitality tent and enjoyed 2 days there with some of the vendors. The Council of Churches just completed their food drive, and I certainly want to thank Stay Gold and Federico's. We did have boxes in there collecting food. The ADA has a new resource guide coming. It's in the works. If anyone is looking for resources or anything, just let us know and we will get a guide to you as soon as it's printed. Thursday, July the 10th at 6 p.m., First Avenue on the boardwalk. We all have a chance to do some exercise and walk the boardwalk with our mayor. Wednesday, July 16th is the Sandcastle competition down at 18th Avenue. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. The judging happens around noon time, and it's always a good time. Hopefully, everybody will get there to see some of the sandcastles if you aren't competing. July the 19th is a Saturday. It's Choose Your Cover. Centra State and the Ocean Monmouth Health Alliance are coming in. It's to a skin cancer screening. It's free of charge. It'll be at 5th Avenue on the beach, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The last registration will be around 1:45, so the doctors can get out of there shortly after 2 o'clock. Last year, Belmar, of all the 6 towns that were involved with it last year, Belmar did more screenings than anyone else, and about 26% of the people who were screened were referred for additional screenings. And the last thing on that, Wednesday, July the 23rd, is the next senior luncheon, 11 o'clock here in this building in the community room. And I'd like to wish everyone a very safe and happy 4th of July this weekend.
Thank you. Councilman Bean?
Thank you, Mayor. A couple questions on the L Street beach, Holly, maybe, or Mike, you handle the lifeguards. Do they,
It's a home safety, but what's your question?
do they staff the L Street beach lifeguard? I got a complaint that at 2:45 Sunday, the lifeguard actually left.
Okay, I'm okay.
So I'm not saying anything because, they were looking for somebody all the time now with their kids, and also the smoking. There were a bunch of people smoking on the beach out there. And we have a police officer that was always at the marina walk down
We'll have these working on that.
a little more often. And then also Military Appreciation Day. I want to thank everybody involved, and I think the best part about Military Appreciation Day is the fact it's not the free food, it's not the getting on the beach, it's the fact that you can drive down there and park without any worry whatsoever. It's absolutely priceless to these guys, because I was talking to them. So, thank everybody from the town for Military Appreciation Day. They did a great job. That's all I got.
The parking and the water slide were great. 2 important things. Yes, thank you very much. It was an excellent day. Talked to some of the people that attended, and they were just thrilled with everything. Also want to thank the library. I took my son to Carlos Creatures, and the gentleman there had boas and pythons and snakes, and so that was a very nice gathering. BBP. There are Belmar flags available for $30. You can purchase them in Taylor Hardware or Salon Marcel. I have one myself hanging outside my house, and it's beautiful. They added more baskets, colorful flowers. It's the red, white, and yellow, the north end of town. Cruise nights have been a success. They're continuing. The next one is, next cruise night? Third Thursday of every month. I'm just trying to think of the date. Any business in need of awnings, they have grants available. They've given out many so far, and they look wonderful, so please take advantage of that, any of the businesses. They're promoting Belmar as all grown up and getting a better feel for Belmar from years past. And we've got a new billboard on the Turnpike. I don't know if anybody has seen it. It's incredible. It's really great. It's one billboard with 3 panels, and it shows the beach, a restaurant, like a wine bottle type of thing, and the marina. And I've known a lot of people that drive by it, they said it's just, it catches your eye and it says Belmar. Oh, absolutely. The BBP and Marty from Saltwater Inn was a huge part of putting that together, and I don't know if he was here. Marty? Bueller? But yeah, kudos to Marty. It's fabulous. Recreation, women's volleyball is starting up again. The toddler playgrounds I mentioned, and we've got the one going on at Ferry Park. Belmar Arts Council. The Jersey Shore Moments open this Saturday, July 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. Like all art shows, the opening and the gallery hours are always free, but this show is a little bit different. Jersey Shore Moments features both art and fine artisan crafts with a Jersey Shore theme. But I was told to say it's nothing like Jersey Shore, the show. While open this weekend, the show will be open for visitors Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 1 to 5, and Friday and Saturday 1 to 7. The next show is at the Belmar Arts Council is Fiber, Fabric, and Paper, which runs from August 20th to September 26th. And lastly, the Belmar Arts Council has quite a number of new courses, including writing a mystery novel, watercolor painting, painting landscapes, woodcut printmaking, self-publish your book, as well as a wide variety of photography workshops. The Arts Council are always busy and we've got great events. And a couple of things at the Arts Council, there's a huge yellow robot. His name is Alan. So if you go by, just say hi to Alan. That's a creation from John Hutchinson. Hutch. And also, yes, my kids love it. They go crazy. And also the Silver Lake sculptures. Art's a personal thing, but I think they look great, and I'm very excited about the floating docks coming in with 40. There's going to be 40 total, so that's great. And last to mention, not related to these, but there was, oh gosh, 4 months ago, Cecil Lear, who I think you all know, approached me and said that he had a friend, his best friend, in town that his wife grew up on 7th Avenue, and her name is Jeannie Bonk. She had passed away a few years ago, but Jeannie Bonk's husband approached us and wanted to do something special for her. Her name is Mrs. Baldino. She was one of the first lifeguards for Belmar. She was Miss Belmar, and like I said, she grew up in Belmar. So he is giving the town $20,000 for a portrait to be painted of hers to hang in Taylor Pavilion in her honor. So it's a project I've been a part of, very proud of. I've met this man and his family, and Suzanne Ann, who created our logo, is the artist doing the portrait. There's going to be an unveiling of it July 5th at the gazebo. And also, La Dolce Vita has agreed to host the party afterwards, just a light breakfast, and pick up the charges for that, which is really nice because they are just wonderful. Belmar will do anything they can to help. So it's exciting, and it's just a beginning of other fundraisers, donations that we're going to hold for Taylor Pavilion. So, you want to elaborate on that?
Only thing I wanted to add was she was one of the first lifeguards. She was a lifeguard, female lifeguard in 1944.
Thank you.
And when you think about that time period, it was a real transition for America when you had millions of men going off to war in both the Pacific and Europe. Women had to fill those roles. Everyone knows Rosie the River and some of those iconic pictures from them. Well, there's a great picture that the historical vessel had, was with Miss Bonk, Mrs. Baldino, in a line of all the lifeguards, and she's the one female. And it just happens to be 70 years ago that she was there. So I think it's a pretty remarkable story. I think it shows the accomplishments and just some of the incredible women that Belmar has, and what a pioneer she was back in 1944, being a lifeguard in Belmar. And you can only imagine how difficult that must have been to be a woman in those positions. Yeah, Mike?
Before you leave, I'll go to your report. The BBP also, I just want to bring it up, they spent $2,500 for DPW. If you walk down Main Street, you'll see there's a lot of gum on the sidewalks.
Oh, yeah.
They purchased a gum wand. It's a new machine that's out. As corny as it sounds, it actually looks like a wand. But it's propane driven, it's got a chemical in it, and it does remove gum very fast. We've been out 2 days with it so far, but we are planning on going up and down Main Street, and hopefully also the boardwalk once we get done with Main Street. But it was a generous gift from them to try and keep our town clean, so I just want to acknowledge that.
Thank you. And also tied in for this Saturday, we're going to have lifeguards, water rescue team members. You know, it's going to be a great celebration of this woman's accomplishments.
Yeah, there was a story in the Asbury Park Press about her, and there's going to be another story, but it really is, in the end, it's a love story, to be honest, between her husband and what he wants to leave for his kids. He has 6 grown children, and he's 92, just so you know, and he has medical issues, so he wanted this done before he passed, to leave to his children, his grandchildren, one of which is a Navy SEAL, so she's had an influence for sure, he said. But yeah, to me, it's an honor to be able to do this.
And I think one of the great connections with that too, in the paper they report about is how she's his grandmother, and obviously she's an accomplished swimmer. She's a lifeguard. She actually taught him to swim, so she teaches her grandson to swim. He ends up becoming a United States Navy SEAL. So it really is a great story.
And if you have the old Belmar book, if you flip through to the pictures of lifeguards, you can't miss her. She's beautiful, front row, kneeling down. She doesn't look like one of the men. None of them are in bikinis, except she was in a bikini.
What time is the celebration?
It is July 5th, 10 a.m. at the gazebo at Silver Lake. If it rains, it's going to be held at the Dolce Vita, but it won't. But it'll be a very special day.
And also kudos to Councilwoman Nicolay for being able to raise, $20,000 to help also rebuild the tower.
Thank you. That's all.
I'm going to be pretty brief. The only thing I want to talk about is the Military Appreciation Day. This is our 4th annual, and it's I think it was the best attended of all of them. I mean, it was tremendous turnout. Weather really cooperated. But I can tell you that there was a reporter there from News Channel 12 who was doing a story on it, and he asked me, he's like, so is this what all the towns are doing? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, leading up to 4th of July, is everyone for military creation? I'm like, no. He's like, well, why do you guys do it? I'm like, well, the better question is, why wouldn't we do it? I said, look, all the food is donated. Dolce Vita donated food for all the meats. Pepsi donated all the beverages. The Friendly Sons of the Shoal came and donated food. The Dolce Vita. And all the time, preparing and cooking was done by volunteers as well. Many of them Pearl employees, Colleen Connolly and Mike Campbell, were both cooking over hot grills on the hot sand for many hours. Kelly Williams as well. And I will tell you, I thought the most interesting part of the whole day, when they were giving out prizes, they would say, the number, and your prize, they didn't tell you what the prize was, but you were supposed to meet April under the tent. And for some reason, I thought people may have thought their prize was to meet April Claudia. Which is a prize, but...
Ray was getting mad.
But that's all for me. Next, let's have approval of the minutes.
Sure. I move that the minutes of the meeting held on June 4th, 2014 and June 17th, 2014 be approved as recorded and that a copy thereof be posted on the borough's website.
Second.
Councilwoman Phil Becker?
Yes.
Councilman Governor?
Yes.
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Nichols?
Yes.
Mayor Dyer?
Yes. Next is public session on the resolution calendar. I'll open this up for public session. Any comments, questions, raise your hand when you call on. And come up. This is on the resolution calendar only. Yes, sir.
I just had a chance, Tom Burke, 601 had a chance this morning to briefly read the resolution on something to do with 8th Avenue, 843 8th Avenue. And I came early to try to read it up here. It isn't here. Can you explain to me what that is? What it's all Friedman, something about a restaurant and parking spaces behind and.
The beach house.
Which resolution?
Okay, this is for the access agreement between the Borough of Belmar and NB1?
Correct.
Okay. Mayor, I can give a
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
of the resolution if you like.
Yep.
This is to give permission for the borough to enter into an access agreement with MB1, which is, for lack of a better word, the owner of the Friedman's building, and where the brewery will be going in. At the west side of the property, if you can picture where the west side of the building meets the parking area in Piano Plaza, there's a very unique grade there. At the south end of the building, the building is at grade 0, but it slopes kind of in an awkward way as it proceeds northward. What that would present is as the businesses on that back west side are accessed from the parking lot, some are at grade 0, some are at 12 inches up. So MB1 proposes, and I believe it's a very attractive design, in my estimation, to create a very gentle, long, slow ramp along the entire west side of the building. That will allow ADA access to the various retail stores that are on that west side. There will be step-ups that can happen at various points along the edge. There will be planters, benches. It will be very nicely presented. In order for them to complete the work, they need to be on borough property for a period of time. And some of the work will live on borough property at the end. So this access agreement, I believe it provides for 20 feet of access for them to complete that work. Not only do we not lose any parking in this situation, the parking impact is not touched, but through our work with MB1, they have agreed to increase handicap access in that area. So we will be picking up 2 handicap parking stalls with handicap ramps that will allow for greater access into the building. So it's kind of a package deal. The access agreement really just provides the permission for the work to occur and establishes an escrow so that our engineers can provide the inspection. As they're doing work on borough land, we have a vested interest in making sure that the work is performed properly.
What I read online mentioned something about restaurant and seating in that area.
What we talked about is eventually allowing some outdoor seating in an area that would be governed by a maintenance agreement right now.
This would be on the west side of the building.
Correct, on the
So
west side.
Facing the large parking lot.
Yes, correct. So we would propose a maintenance agreement that would govern the terms of the use of that area. Right now, it's simply pavers.
Outside seating for what purpose? I'm missing. It says something about restaurant.
Well, they're gonna, in the back of that building, they could have restaurants, they could have small things back there. They're gonna have businesses in the back.
That's what the planning board approved, retail spaces. They did not approve restaurants.
That is correct, sir. And if they wish to go by the way of a restaurant, they will have to go back to planning board for change of use.
Right, over change of use.
Absolutely.
And the parking space, the handicap parking spaces, is that not just a redesignation of some of the existing parking
Yes.
spaces? So they're not really providing, they're just paying for the designation?
No, I think when I said we're picking up 2 additional handicap spaces, I didn't mean to say that they're taking land and adding 2 more parking stalls. There's very limited handicap parking in that section of the parking lot. So this would take 2 existing stalls, make them handicap designated, and provide the ramp cuts so that they are ADA accessible.
Well, I guess I don't understand why that's in an agreement with a private company.
Because we want them to put in those 2 parking
It
spaces.
behooves us to add that.
They're gonna do the curb cuts and make it accessible. So if you have, I don't know, if you have a handicap parking space but no ramp to go up, you've got to find out.
Is that ramp on their property? Because according to, in the planning board, when we reviewed it, there was zero backyard setback.
No, it's our problem. That's the reason for the access.
How wide is the ramp?
6-foot ramp, I believe?
6 foot?
I believe so.
And part of it then will be on rural property?
Yes, absolutely, which is why we have the access.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions, comments on the resolution calendar? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion of the resolution.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Choose myself for the first one.
We have a motion to approve the resolution permitting special permits for social affairs for the Friendly Sons of Little Valley.
I make that motion that we pass the resolution permitting the special permits for the social affairs for the Friendly Sons of Chanel.
Councilwoman Carol Blackburn. Councilman Goodwin.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilman Nichols.
Yes.
All right. Next one is authorizing payment of bills. I'll offer move for adoption. Or not adoption, but I'll offer the resolution.
Second?
Councilwoman Carol Blackburn. Councilman Goodwin.
I just have a question. On the DCA enrichment grants, Colleen, I didn't recognize any of the names. Who are these people?
These are instructors at Belmar Elementary School. They are conducting the classes in conjunction with Belmar Rec, which secured the grant.
They're teachers?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And just as on a side note, for the fish kill food, for the workers, was that they were eating the fish kill food, or they were cleaning up the fish kill food, and we were getting them food from the deli?
We did not cook up the fish.
Okay.
That was to provide meals for.
Meals for the workers,
Yeah.
okay.
Workers, volunteers, and prisoners.
I vote yes.
Councilman Dean.
Two quick comments. Number one, we're paying $150,000 to Mazer Consulting. Just would like to suggest that we could actually hire an engineer at that cost year-round, and have them all the time. And also the Denonia and, I can't pronounce this, Tambosik LLC settlement agreement, $9,000. Can you just elaborate?
That was the dressing settlement that Lori Dvorak was here a few weeks ago to discuss. Which dress?
So we're paying $9,000 to the lawyers.
It's an escrow that goes to the complaint.
It goes to his attorney, and then they distribute it. They probably take a third and then give them the rest.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Councilwoman Nichols.
Yes.
Mayor Darrell.
Yes. Next is the resolution authorizing the signing of an access agreement between Borough of Belmar and NB1 LLC. I'll offer.
I'll second it.
Councilwoman Carol Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Goodwin.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Just one thing that doesn't resonate here for me. How much of our property are they going to be taking? Like 6 feet? Is that
I think it's
it?
approximately 6 feet.
Just 6, because it has to permit the operation of a restaurant-style dining area. I mean, 6 feet is just such a small area.
No, the vast majority of that access agreement is for the ramp, which is approximately 6 feet. The potential outdoors shared use area, for lack of a better word, is an area delineated on the north side of the parking lot. It's pavered over. It's not actually a parking area. It's not sidewalk. It's pavers, parking pavers.
Okay. And we're losing 0 parking spaces?
No parking spaces lost.
Okay. I wish we could have seen a closer map to get it all, but for what you were describing, if it's only 6 feet, I don't have a problem with that, so I'm gonna vote yes.
Councilman Nichols.
Yes.
Mayor Darrell.
Yes. Next is a very special resolution establishing a position and appointing someone, the local historian. The person to be appointed is the oldest person in town.
I'll get you that.
That's Brian McGovern. The nice thing, whatever Brian can't find in history, he will make up. It sounded very convincing to me. So I'm happy to move the resolution appointing my friend Brian McGovern, the local historian.
Second.
Actually, I have to say, the real historian was my dad, and he was, as I said before, he was an encyclopedia about town. He was absolutely amazing. But there are many other people in town, like Paul Caverly, Donnie Sterner, all people that go back to Sterner's with E. Donald Sterner, Paul Caverly, the Caverly family going back to the 40s also. You know, I'm honored that I'm getting it, but there are other people in town that know as much about Belmar as I do. And I'll be calling them up and letting them know that story.
Councilman Carol Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Goodwin.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilman Nichols.
Yes.
Mayor Darrell.
Yes. Next is our consent agenda. I'll also move for the consent agenda. Or offer our consent agenda.
Councilwoman Carol Blackburn. Councilman Goodall.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilman Nicholas.
Yes.
Mayor Nardi.
Yes, next are our ordinances. They're all first reading and introduction. I'll offer for first reading and introduction ordinance 2014-12, ordinance amending supplementing chapter 20, licenses of the revised general ordinance of the Borough of Belmar, section 5-1, designation of amusement or entertainment areas. So this is, I'm offering for first reading and introduction.
Second?
Councilwoman Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Goodall.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Can you just explain this a little bit? What's going on?
This is to amend the existing zoning to allow small amusement or entertainment area between 12th and 11th on Main Street, across from the school.
It's Norwood, we're talking about Norwood Overparts, it used to be.
That's one this one.
We're taking the whole thing. Okay, and there's just gonna have arcade games and,
Stuff for kids.
yes?
Councilman Nicholas.
Yes.
Mayor Nardi.
Yes. Next ordinance, 2014-13, ordinance amending chapter 40, revised general ordinance of the Borough of Belmar. I'll offer. Second.
Councilwoman Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Goodall.
Yes.
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilman Nicholas.
Yes.
Mayor Nardi.
Yes. Next is first reading introduction ordinance 2014-14, ordinance of the Borough of Belmar, County of Monmouth, New Jersey, vacating a portion of a public road in the Seaport redevelopment area in furtherance of the redevelopment project at blocks 57, lot 4. This pertains to the old nice house. So I'll offer that for first reading.
Councilwoman Blackburn.
Yes.
Councilman Goodall.
You know, I thought that old white ice building was very attractive. Yes.
Councilman Dean.
We might wanna think about making that road one way, as narrow as it's getting, yes.
Councilman Nicholas.
Yes.
Mayor Nardi.
Yes, that ends our ordinances. Next is public session. Public session, very simple. Just raise your hand when you call on, come up front, state whatever you like, 5 minutes. Any comments you have, we would appreciate hearing. While someone is speaking, please show them respect and courtesy of remaining quiet to allow them to express their opinion. Certainly, like the same courtesy if you're expressing your opinion. So, who would like any comments for the council tonight? Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Take it in?
Oh, yeah, of course. My friend Jen Chip.
Good evening, Gavin O'Day, 1903 Center Avenue. First, I'd like to comment about the skimboard competition. I took my kids this weekend. Excellent event. Hope that it comes back year after year. Really, really well done. Second, I'd like to echo the comments from Mark Fitzgerald and Peter Pyro. Please, it's going to be hard work. Obviously, it's a very complicated situation, but please focus on a long-term solution. I'm sure you probably see nowhere else in town where people are investing, rebuilding, new construction, major renovation as you are in the south end of town. So please work towards that long-term solution. Director Campbell referred to kind of the preparation that's done in advance of a storm event. It would be great if we could hear about that via the code red alert system to kind of put us at ease. The pumps are on the way, the level of the lake has been brought down. Something like that would really help out. I came before the council at the last meeting on June 4th. Asked about the 3-foot-tall weeds that were growing out of Lake Como. Thank you very much. It was addressed the next day. Great to see that kind of response. The other thing that I talked about was the garbage cans. There has never been a garbage can on the Lake Como banks since Sandy. And I gotta tell you, and I've got about 15 pictures that will blow your mind from Sunday. Everything from a large trash bag filled with garbage that somebody probably threw out of their car to mutt mids filled with dog refuse. The tourists, I hate to say it for whatever reason, dump it in the curb, dump it on the banks, and it ends up in the lake. There was a big pothole there, had an orange cone marking it so no one, I think, blew their tire out. Somebody took that cone and tossed it into the lake. So if we could get garbage cans there before the start of this 4th of July weekend, I think that would really help. People would just have an option and hopefully not decide to throw it in.
Yeah, keep talking there, please.
Yes, they'll be there tomorrow.
Great. Thank you very much.
Mike, can they be secured? Because I'm sure if we put all the trash into a barrel, they can be picked up and thrown into the lake. That
We've actually placed barrels down there and to secure, the ones that go down to the ground, we do not have. I can put blue barrels down there again and try and find a way to secure them. I have heavier ones, but putting something in the ground would be something I have to order, so.
two new blue barrels for the weekend.
I'll get something down there, so there's no problems.
Maybe Richie Nerl can come up with some ingenious Richie Nerl.
If anybody can, they
Right.
All right, see another public comment, I'll make a motion to close the public portion adjourned.
I'll second.
Were you?